Well, thanks to Brad for the flyer, actually. That's not my own doing. I gave him very little information and he turned that out. So, good work, Brad. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Again, my name is Phillip Kemp with Reed & Associates. So, I know in all of our businesses we have perceptions. Rental properties and property management is definitely one of those. We have to overcome, our own challenges in our own business. But, as a property management company, we're choosing not to be defined by the worst landlord you see on the news or the worst renter that calls Andy Wise or something like that. So, what we're working to do every day is to try and change those perceptions. So, these are some of our houses. This may be kind of what you would think of as typical Memphis area rentals. These are all solid houses, none of them slums or anything close to it, all probably $700 to $900 a month. Some newer construction, good, solid homes in all different areas in Memphis. So that's kind of part of the perception. These are solid rental properties. These are not $300, $400, $500 a month. So these are solid every day. We've got lots of these. But I also kind of want to share with you some maybe unexpected rental properties. So all these that I'm going to show you are properties that we currently have under management. So this is $3,000 a month in Cordova, right off of Walnut Grove. Unless you know somebody that lives there, you probably never even seen this area. And this is a rental property we manage right now. This is a home over by Baptist Hospital in maybe the most beautiful part of East Memphis, in the Briarcrest area, right in there, up over $3,000 a month on a rental. This is a good over 3,000 square foot house in Cordova. This is down in South Haven, so we have a lot of newer houses, properties you just don't think of as rental properties in Memphis. There's several more in this up in the north part of Bartlett. So the current portfolio that we manage is right at 500 properties at any given time. Single family homes is the bulk of our business. We also do small commercial, small multifamily, but our bread and butter is the single family homes. So out of those 500 houses, it's over 125 clients that we work with. So I kind of ran the numbers this week. So 70% of our clients own just one house. I'll kind of talk to you about that a little bit more in a minute. And then half of them live outside of the Memphis metro area. About 6% of them are overseas, somewhere or another, Hong Kong, Singapore, Nigeria, so that have seen the value and bought properties here in Memphis. And then our portfolio is pretty much half investors and half homeowners. So I'll kind of explain the difference in how we think. We use the term day in and day out of investors, but really we work with investors and we work with homeowners. So homeowners, most of them used to live in the property, almost always, and for whatever reason they either chose not to sell, decided not to sell at the time, couldn't sell, underwater, any of a number of different factors that I've kind of already mentioned in the previous weeks. But really what makes them a homeowner in our book is that they did not purchase the property as an investment. They didn't buy it at an investment price. It's probably a strain on them. It's a strain on their monthly budget. Versus where an investor, they really intended to purchase this property. They went into it as a business, or they converted a homeowner property into an investment, and now it's a benefit to them. And again, the investor is really operating their property as a business. It's kind of the biggest difference I can describe. And so it's really about half and half. And we want to work with both. So I've got 3 good referrals that I'd like to kind of go through this morning. So for the homeowner, again, half homeowners. Our role with them is a problem solver. We're going to step in almost like when they need a plumber or heating and air. We're going to step in, they have a problem, they have a house they can't sell, they don't like the price, and we're going to help them for some fixed amount of time, 1, 2, 3 years, however long that relationship lasts, but they're not in it for the long term. But if we can help them get through the recession that we've just had, through the real estate market crash, and that's something where we can step in and really try and be a problem solver and help them out. So any different number of situations, they may be relocating, they may be getting sent out of the area. A lot of different changing family situations that we're seeing right now. Aging parents, we've got the referral that Sally was mentioning. The house is paid for, the mother used to live there, and now she's in assisted living, so her 2 daughters are going to turn it into a rental to help cover their monthly assisted living bill while maintaining the paid for asset, not having to sell that and then actually spend their principal every month. People may be downsizing, upsizing, or they can kind of convert it from a homeowner property to an investment property to help cover expenses. We've got another guy that used to live in the house. It's paid for, so he's got kids in high school, so he's going to continue to rent it out. He lives out of state, and he's going to use that monthly income to help cover his kids' college expense that he's on the hook for now, starting very quickly. So, kind of share with you a recent success story that we've had. I know, Ben in our office, we stay busy. We're a small office, but we don't spend enough time kind of celebrating the wins. And so, as I kind of tried to think back, this is a house right in the heart of Cordova. It was a military family that was given orders to relocate out of town in 2008. That's probably one of the worst times in Memphis to have had to try and sell a house. This is that middle $130,000 price range in Cordova, so it may have been worth $100,000 at that time. Just not a real opportunity for them to sell. So we rented it. We had one tenant that moved in, paid on time, 2008 to 2014. First time it came vacant, the market had rebounded, and we were able to sell it for them early this year. So that's a homeowner success story. So another good referral for us is for really what I would consider potential investors. Somebody that's interested in real estate investing. Maybe they're working with a financial advisor, so another good referral would be their financial advisor. They want to diversify their portfolio. They can kind of have a slow and steady approach. We've got high income, high net worth people that want to buy one house a year for the next 10 years. Well, that's going to help with their retirement with that rental income. Also work with home builders, helping them to convert their extra inventory, their extra lots. Home builders always have an opportunity to take in trades. Somebody that can't sell their house wants to buy their beautiful new house. Home builder can buy it, convert that to a rental. So, kind of a quick story on a long-term client that we had. This guy owns these 4 houses. He's in California. He was laid off a few years ago and just decided that he was going to manage his rentals, let the investments that he had already made cover his retirement. Now he has kids, grandkids overseas, so he travels doing mission work. He travels to see his grandkids, and he didn't have to go look for another job also at one of the worst times to be looking for a job. So another good referral for us is current investors that have multiple properties. So our role with them is we want to be part of their team, one of their professional service providers. They've got their CPA, they've got their attorney, so we want to be their property manager. Kind of 2 different categories on these. They may be doing it DIY, doing it themselves. If that's the case, then you're probably going to hear them talk about repairs, headaches, and chasing rent is kind of the biggest headache that people that are doing it themselves have. But they also may be using another property management company, and so then their complaints are probably more likely to be a house sitting too long to take to rent a vacant house, unexpected expenses, things that just weren't communicated to them. And really, when somebody wants to hire a new property management company, it boils down to a lack of communication, which is basically what those things are. When we talk to our owners and we're trying to solve a problem, it's going to boil down somewhere that we didn't communicate well enough, or their current property manager is not communicating well enough. So these investors, they may be individuals, they may be businesses. We've worked with institutional investors, hedge funds, real estate investment trusts that are publicly traded. So all of those are good examples of things that we can work with on investors. So really, as you're thinking of referrals for us, really anybody that has a property that can be rented that they want to rent for whatever reason. Homeowners, people that are considering investing, and then also people that already have invested in rental property and maybe doing it themselves. If they're doing it themselves, they are worn out with it. They're taking calls in the middle of the night, they're working on weekends, they're going to the house to collect rent after work, so they're slap wore out. And then also they may just be not happy with the current property management company that they have. So that's kind of a little bit about what we're doing, really just to kind of work through some of the perceptions of Memphis property management. Again, not to be defined by the worst example that hits the news once a month. Yes.
Do you have zip codes you don't do business in, or zip codes that you prefer?
We have more of price ranges that we don't do business in. So when we look at a portfolio of properties or one property, we're looking for an average rent of $750 or above. So we will take a property that's $400 or $500 if it's lumped in of a group with 10 others that bring that average rent up over. So there's not necessarily zip codes, neighborhoods, anything like that that we stay away of. We're looking at price range. We've learned where we can have success on a lot of the newer houses. We do a lot of the high end, but we do a lot. Our average rent's about $975 to $1,000. So right in there, anywhere from that $850 to $1,200 price range is the bulk of our properties.
Real quick, highest monthly rent for a house you've had?
Right now, I think it's $3,200. It's been $3,500, $3,600 in the past for a different house. I think we had one a few years ago right at $4,000.
Well, your next question is what will start your one-to-one with Phillip Kemp. And you'll see why I am so high on his being a trusted advisor, member of our team. Excellent job, Phillip.
Thank
We've
you.
learned a lot more about how we can best refer you, and I'm sure that you're going to see great results from BNI based on your great attitude.